Welcome back to Maximum Power Up. Next video I'm going to be having a quick look at a magazine that didn't really last that long, based on a TV show. It's going to be Games World magazine. Now, Games World was on Sky One. As a kid, I didn't have Sky at this time, so I just basically watched it around at a mate's. Obviously, games TV programmes at the time were really popular. ITV had Bad Influence, that was, yeah, it was alright, you know, and everything. And the big one was obviously Games Master on Channel 4. So many people are massive fans of that. Absolutely loved it when, even though it's a few years ago now, they were showing repeats on Challenge TV. But Sky One coming up with their own show, Games World. And the good thing about Games World was it was different every day of the week. So some days it'd just be games challenges, other days reviews, cheats, things like that. So magazine launched. I can't remember exactly how many issues there were. I've got another one over in my pile of magazines, that's issue 17, but I can't remember it going for too long because obviously mid-90s a lot of consoles came out at the time and a lot of them didn't really do that well. I'm not going to name names, we all know who you are. 3DO, CDI, etc. Anyway, so quite a thick magazine. I remember buying first couple of issues of this first time. We have got the editor there, Dave Perry, who obviously got featured quite a few times on Games Master, known for his bandanas. So obviously going to whiz through this as quick as I can really, because there's a lot to show, because it covered so many different machines and everything like that. It's obviously wanted to be a bit like Games Master magazine, which is still going today. I don't know how strong, but mind you always see it, you know, on the shelves everywhere. Done by Paragon Publishing. They obviously had quite a lot of different magazines out on the shelf. So straight up, we've obviously got news, previews, and things like that all lumped together. It's a strategy game here, which I have from a Super Nintendo, called Metal Marines. I can't remember too much about it, other than it got mentioned again on another podcast I was listening to. I think it was an American one the other day. Page loose, so obviously not really that well made, I think it's safe to say. Again, where all the glue comes unstuck. So moving along, it's obviously still featuring the Amiga a lot around this time. We've got a preview for, it's a review. That's absolutely tiny for a review. One column, see how much time I've actually looked at this magazine. Review here, PC Theme Park, 92%, which looked really, really nice. I remember having that on my Amiga 1200, and it was obviously a bit better than, you know, the standard Amiga version with a nice intro and everything like that. On the PC CD-ROM there, we've got Simon the Sorcerer, an excellent point-and-click game, and then CD32 review for Cannon Fodder and James Pond 3. So obviously both ports of Amiga games, something that sadly didn't really help the CD32. Just moving on a little bit, most of these pages really have come loose. We've got a review there for Super Frog and something called Super Methane Brothers, something that I've never played. Again, they're both still on CD32. So already there's about 7 or 8 CD32 games. So for a console where they say there's no games for it, and I'll hold my hands up, I've actually said that myself, you know, there's a fair few there. So anyway, moving along from the reviews to probably the main part of the magazine, we've got, now if you watch the show you'll remember these, the Videators. You had like Big Boy Barry, you had Jet from Gladiators, I can't remember what she was called in it, and then you had this horrible snobby little private school boy as well. The thing is, it tried something where it was like different characters to obviously make it stand out really from Games Master. See, it never really appealed to me that much, because obviously Games Master, all you needed was Dominic Diamond, and that's why I think the season when they had Dexter Fletcher just obviously just didn't work. You know, you needed Dominic Diamond, you needed that sarcasm and everything like that. So here, after very, very brief reviews, we've got quite a few previews here. Some really great games. Sparkster by Konami, Batman the Animated Series. What else we've got? Stuff called Eco Fighters from Capcom, which looks like a scrolling shooter. Jungle Strike from Gremlin. A game that I've never played, The Shadow, based on the film. That was by Ocean. Then we've got Super Bomberman 2, which everyone had played a Bomberman game at some point. Real addictive fun, you know, when you're having a games night. We have got a preview for Flight of the Amazon Queen. Again, another well-loved point and click adventure. Beauty and the Beast on the Super Nintendo. Oh god, this is such a good game. This is on the Mega Drive as well. Jimmy White's Whirlwind Snooker. Just quickly now, the import scene, as I mentioned in the Super Play video that I've just done, the import games were still really popular about this time. So I remember getting GamePro magazine and Electronic Gaming Monthly, or EGM, and everyone tried to obviously have a little bit of a look at the import scene. So we've got a Double Dragon 5. Now that's something I've never actually played. It's a one-on-one fighting game, because obviously they were stupidly popular back in the 90s. But yeah, I don't think it's something I'd actually ever try, because it doesn't look amazing really. And then another one based on the old cartoon Rocko's Modern Life. Don't know if anyone remembers that. It's something I used to watch a bit as a kid. You know, bear in mind now we're going back 20 years. Well, just over actually. This is August '94. So another game here, Ram Maharth. I mentioned that at work the other week to a mate, and I absolutely loved playing Ram Maharth on the Super Nintendo back then. Then we have got the usual cheats and things like that. Feature there on Mortal Kombat 2, which was obviously massive, big step up from the first one, more fighters and everything like that. Again, with this being quite a newish magazine, you've got the Reader's Survey. Absolutely loved doing these when I was a kid. You know, where do you work? Well, what do you do for a living and stuff like that? What do you buy? What consoles do you own? And I think at the time it was always like, how many games do you own? You know, 4, something like that. Although now if I just did it, it'd be like, what consoles do you own? Yeah, take. How many games do you own? Far too many, because I've not got time to get on half of them. But it doesn't stop me buying them. So again, still more stuff on Mortal Kombat 2 just back then. And then we've got a look at Super Street Fighter 2, which was absolutely fantastic. Super Street Fighter 2, spent a lot of time on with my mates, you know, growing up. Again, adding a few new fighters as well. So, you know, every single time the new version of Street Fighter 2 came out, you'd be like, right, trading your old one, I suppose, just like what we do with FIFA nowadays and everything. Rock'n'Roll Racing, this one is featured on the Mega Drive. The Super Nintendo version, I absolutely love. I think it's brilliant. Just whiz through a little bit. Something I've never played, luckily, but it is Shaq Fu. I've not heard anything good about it, so it's not something I've actually rushed out to play. Just have a quick look. Z-Wolf on the Amiga. Now this is something that I've never actually played. I've heard a lot of good things about it, and I know it's got like all those 3D type graphics, and yeah, it does look okay. Then we've got Sensible Golf and James Pond 3. So obviously around this time I had my Amiga 1200, and it just shows that there's still a lot of good games coming out for it. You'd say like the Amiga had like another year or so, as opposed to the end of like 95, you know, as being sort of like one of the key players. I know obviously now the love for the Amiga has just gone through the roof, hence the prices of some of them. And then we've got FIFA again on the Amiga, which is something I've never ever played, and Top Gear 2. And then on PC, again called Bioforge, something I've never actually played. Just whiz through a little bit there. This was mentioned as a recent horror game. I can't remember who it was on Twitter who mentioned this. It may have been called Paul Driscoll. Harvester, which is obviously like one of these with, you know, all the not CGI, but you know, your full motion video. Sorry. So I've never played Harvester. I don't know if any of you guys have. It looks nice, but I can't see, you know, it being any good really. And then you got a couple of the Jaguar games here, great titles. Doom and Alien vs Predator. Alien vs Predator, one of the sort of AAA titles that the Jaguar had. Kasumi Ninja, never ever played, doesn't look too great. And something called Redline Racing. Again, I think it was just the fact so many of these systems, you know, were on the market at the same time. Like Next Up Mega CD with Flashback, 3DO with something called Dr. Hauser. So it's just so many things that I've just never ever played. So that's really the look at Games World magazine. Like I say, sorry that only just realised half the pages were falling out there, you know, as I had a quick look at that. So Games World magazine, my opinion, not that great. You know, there's a lot of ones that I hold quite dear to my heart. Games World, not one of them. I think it just sums up that sort of like mid-90s vibe, too much on the market and a lot of rubbish. Anyway, see you soon.